Hey everybody, welcome back to Insights with C5 Insight. And today we're going to jump on the bandwagon and talk about new release features in the 2024 Wave 1 release. Okay, so here we are. We're excited to dive back in and to another episode of Insights with C5 Insight. It's been a while since we were able to come together and get one of these done because of busy schedules, but we're back and at the perfect time because we've been recently graced with the newest version of the release wave. So 2024 release wave 1 for both Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. So the C5 team has a number of items selected. We've got the first one up. We're each going to take a turn kind of taking a stab at the thing that caught our attention the most. So I think we're going to start with you, Emily. Why don't you talk us through the first one?
Thanks, Malcolm. Yeah, so the item that I was very intrigued by when looking through the release notes was this ability to now share system views by security role. So I know if you're listening to this, you may, or watching, I should say, if you may be familiar with the manage view function. So when you're in a view, you can drop down and manage which views you're seeing, and you can hide any system views that you maybe don't want to have listed. But this feature actually will allow admins to drill down each view by security role, so you as an end user wouldn't have to do that step at all. And I think that this will really create a more streamlined experience for any users accessing their apps, so they're only seeing the views that they actually need for their day-to-day. So I'm really curious to see how this works, and I'm really excited to play with it when we can. It looks like that it should be available for public preview in March, so actually that's next month, and then in GA, as this was last updated in June. So I think this is a really cool one and a really great item for customizing the applications even more.
Sweet.
And I think I speak for all of us when I say about time.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
True story. All right, so let's pivot over then to the next one. We are going to go over to you, Patrick.
Cool. Okay, so this one caught my eye mostly because I'm working on a project right now where this is a very relevant topic that we're talking to our clients about, and it's the ability to associate activities with multiple related records. Naturally, the activities are the things that we love to hate as consultants because they're such oddball data records in the back end, and it's difficult to explain them well to non-technical people because they're handled so differently from all the other tables that we deal with in the back end. So even right now, we can have a regarding field, and you can choose from a variety of different tables to set an activity regarding against. Now it's reading as if we're going to be able to do multiple activities. I don't know what multiple means. Does it mean one additional one? Does it mean unlimited? We can relate it to as many other tables as we want. We don't know yet. You're going to see, it says it's in public preview right now. I haven't seen it yet in any of the environments I'm working in, but I haven't gone to turn it on either, truth be told. But the GA is coming out in April at the beginning of the wave, so we'll see. And, I read this note that even if I do turn on public preview, it's only for emails, and those are notoriously difficult to test in a sandbox because you probably don't have mailboxes working in a sandbox environment anyway. And as we tell all of our clients, don't go putting your public preview in your production because Microsoft says don't put public preview in production because it could change tomorrow or go away. But I am excited to get my hands on this and really play with it a little bit to see if it'll solve a client need that we've got brewing right now, as a matter of fact.
Awesome. That's a great one. Paige, over to yours.
Yeah, so the one that caught my eye was scan files and attachments for viruses and malware. I know when I first read this, I was like, I never really thought about that being a concern. But now that it's mentioning it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that absolutely seems like something that you would want to have available to be able to review. So really interested to see how this turns out. It looks like it's going to be available in public preview not until June. And then general availability until August. So skirting that line for the release, but looking forward to seeing how that works more when it comes out.
Kind of a wonder that it hasn't been something that it can do already in the day and age
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
viruses. I mean,
Mhm.
that's not new, right? So
Yeah.
And I
Well,
wonder
Interesting.
if this could be an entree into that other thing that we've been wanting for so long, and that's the ability that when you submit a form through customer voice to be able to attach a file to the form submission that we
Ah.
can't do unless it's internal.
internal, yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
maybe
Interesting.
now, if we've got this tool in place, maybe they can start to like expand that a little bit to external users who need to submit things.
Yeah.
I don't
That would
know.
be-
Interesting.
That'd be cool. Good
That
call.
would be cool.
So I went a little against the grain, I guess, because I went to the Dynamics 365 side of things. And truth be told, I haven't read through all the things yet. So the ones you guys covered, I hadn't even come across. So those are all great ones. This one jumped out at me: customized lead qualification process for seamless experience. So the ability here to really drill in. I'm going to open up this image because it kind of gives you a little bit of a better idea of what's going on. So the ability to customize what's going to get created and how in your organization, right? So by default, historically, it's kind of always been the all or nothing. You qualify a lead, it's going to do the thing. Well, create the account and the contact and the opportunity. Well, now you can identify what's going to get created and when. But what's more intriguing to me is something we were talking about offline. Is you can see right here. There's two things that are intriguing. Let seller create multiple opportunities from a newly qualified lead. So that's cool. I've seen that requirement in real life before. People are like, well, it could be multiple things, and we want to, different lines of business, and we want to split this up and have both pursue the opportunity for their own line of business. So that's pretty neat. I'll be curious to see how that shakes down. And then this notion of being able to add the opportunity fields, which to me says it's the mapping, right? The field level mapping, which we've always been able to do in the Classic, or for a very, very, very long time in the Classic interface. And we've long wondered why that thing isn't a feature in the new UI. You can't do that. You have to go back to Classic to do it. And so we started to wonder if, I think Paige, it was you that raised it, and like, I wonder if this is them starting to make that mapping available in the new UI, which would be really exciting because it's kind of a pain to have to jump back there to do that one thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a neat one. And then there's also that box at the bottom there, the lead handover summary, which is cool. We've seen the Copilot stuff summarizing records like a case or a lead. And so now this is going to hand it over, which I think is great. There's another release feature about auto reassignment of leads and opportunities. So I think it's all starting to come together, right? You get a lead, it gets created into an opportunity, somebody gets notified, and then they get the summary that says, hey, here's what's all on that record that you need to think about. So that's all very exciting stuff. Very cool.
Did you say what the dates were on that yet?
Oh, I did not. That's a good call. How do I get out of this picture? And how do I zoom out? Here we go. So that one is GA. So it's apparently in early access, February 2024. Now we're only 9 days into February, so it may or may not be there yet. Nothing under the public preview. Sounds like they just might jump it straight into GA, which I think makes sense. I mean, obviously it'd be great to get our hands on it first, but.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's a huge, like, obviously this is an impactful change, but just in terms of like something new, you know, it's not a huge change. So it'll be interesting to play around, but
yeah.
Nice.
So as we wrap up, one thing to call out, these are just 4 of the many, many, many items. So if you haven't taken time to look at the release guide or the release plans yet, highly encourage you to do so. We'll put links down in the comments section, and so that you can peruse those at your own. This whole environment of the release plans allow you to kind of tailor or build your own things that you're interested in, which are really cool. So if you haven't used this, you should look at that as well. And just keep in mind what Patrick called out. Anything that's listed as public preview would always advise against putting it in production. You never know, right? They can quite literally change their mind on a dime, and all of a sudden the feature can look very different today than it did yesterday. So just be mindful of that and cautious, but always take time to play around with those preview features, because that just better equips you for when it does hit GA and it's ready to rock and roll. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Insights with C5 Insight. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See ya.